Hi, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of whatever this is. Um, we don't have a guest today. We have a guest next week. It's a regular, but we are working very hard to get new guests on. We have a Twitter account at podcast. What is it? Is it? It is at podcast WTI, isn't it?
Yeah, podcast WTI.
Yeah, it's going good. We've had some nice interaction from you guys. So yeah, it's pretty fun. But that's the little housekeeping out of the way. Um,
Did you
Artem,
see
what's
my
up?
searches there?
I did see your searches there. I don't know why
that
you're.
was that was from the funniest night ever.
No, it was traumatic for me. It was truly. I'm not lying to you. I was up way too late. I thought it was all over. Like I was going through it that day, and the next day, and then the day after that, I got back to normalcy. But no, that was a
Oh
rough.
man,
That was a rough 2 days.
you were really stressed out that night, and
I
I kept
was.
searching Spartak admin and just refreshing the
I
page
did that
because it
every
was
two
so
minutes.
funny.
Yeah, I know. It was funny for you, but it definitely was not for me. And yeah,
I know, but thankfully it passed. And to be honest, it wasn't even your fault. Some people
exactly.
listening will know what it was about. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
mention it.
but
We'll just forget it.
for our new listeners, welcome. A minute in, we're already doing inside jokes that you know nothing about. Our fault. But Artem, how are you?
I'm good, man. I was quite surprised this morning that I woke up and didn't see a message from you because all of our listeners, they know that Hanu messages me every time the Knicks win.
Yes,
So it's just New York Knicks in capitals. And
yes,
today they secured the playoffs
yeah,
for like I don't know, the first time in it has to be many years.
yes.
But I don't know how many exactly. Do you know?
I don't know, but I'm gonna watch ESPN. Like, I'm gonna watch some Stephen A. videos later on. I'm sure he'll tell me. What a guy.
Well, maybe
And
you could come back and tell us next week.
yeah, but like the Knicks, because they didn't play today, right? So I usually look at I mean, I Google the Knicks, and if they play and if they win, I message you.
Yeah.
But I just missed this. I missed this until you sent me it, and then since then I've been pretty chuffed. But what was also funny in your little segment was you saying, I was quite surprised today when I woke up, and then like a second pause, and then you said that I didn't message you. So that made me
Yeah, I was pretty surprised that I just woke up in general, to be honest.
honestly, yeah. But the Knicks are through to the playoffs. They're going to win the league. Um, my prediction is that they'll get to the conference finals and lose to the Nets. But I don't know.
That sounds ridiculous to me, but we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. But the reason Artem was surprised that he woke up was because he was so sad that Krylia lost the cup final. Um, moving on, like to the cup final, me, David, Artem, we all watched this together. Um, Good game, really fun game, great atmosphere in Disney Novgorod. I was there. um, Franco Franco Acamano. We'll get to the game first, Artem, but I think Franco Acamano, Sobolev, Larson, and then Smolov fourth. These are my four picks for Player of the Year. So like 2021, whatever we've had in Russian football.
Yeah, they're not bad shouts, to be fair.
Yeah, because all of
But
our yeah, go on.
like what David, I think it was David who mentioned yesterday that all of his goals have been quite lucky.
Not all,
Like,
but like the past 3 or 4 have been very, very lucky. Like it's insane how lucky they've been.
but the thing is though, like it is a bit lucky, but then it's also like yesterday it was just really good anticipation. The minute he saw that ball coming over, regardless of Zafan getting to the header,
Yeah,
he knew he was gonna run and try and get it in front of the keeper, and it worked well for him. But
yeah, and I think Noboa is probably a Player of the Season shout as well. What
I
a
think
season
he
he's
is.
yeah, what a
Yeah,
season he's had.
definitely. Especially at his age. You don't
Exactly,
expect those kind of
especially
performances and how many
at his
goals
age.
and
Yeah,
assists he's gotten.
and he's a player that RFN have interviewed, which is the most important factor.
That is
Uh,
the most important factor,
exactly.
really,
Yeah,
because, it gives us a better chance of actually getting the award to him.
exactly. Yeah,
It's
um,
like that time Andrew Flint got the
yeah, that was insane.
RFN award to Fyodor Smolov.
That was insane. Um,
Pretty
so
fucking
yeah,
hilarious.
it was a wild picture, and I was mad surprised when I saw it for the first time, and I thought RFN were like some like mad. They were like on sports rule level, but I hope that they give it out to some player again at some point. But going back to the cup, right? Kamano scored, but Krylia played very very well. People have appreciated Krylia a lot. Their goal was brilliant. Sarvelli scored, great team move. And then just as the second half started, some mans made a bad tackle and there was a penalty, which Smolov duly converted. And then the game sort of fizzled out. Krylia looked, they tried, but they couldn't really get back in the game. And then in the last few minutes, Murillo came on and he scored like the easiest corner you'll ever see. Krylia had switched off at that point. Um, but yeah, congratulations to Loko. Nikolic, what a guy. First trophy in Russia. He's going to have a big season next year. But Artem, what are your thoughts on the game? What are your thoughts on Krylia's run? They've been given an RPL license. Congratulations on that. But yeah, how do you feel? What are you expecting for next season?
I'm honestly like, this season has been one of the best Krylia seasons in a while. And like, for people who don't know, I'm originally from Samara. Like, I support Zenit, but I'm always looking out for Krylia. I always hope that they do well. So it was nice to see them do so well this season. It was nice to see Sergeyev get the record for most goals in the FNL. He added to his tally last week as well. He's got 40 now, which is gonna be, it's not gonna be broken anytime soon. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. Like, it looks like they'll get 100 points. It looks like, well, they did get to the final. I was hoping they'd win. I was hoping that they'd continue the dream and get into Europe and all that, but it just wasn't meant to be. The first half was good. I thought they were actually the better team. Besides for that one mistake from Zafan, but El Chapo scored a great goal as well. That's Sarvelli for anyone who doesn't know.
What is up?
No
I
idea.
didn't get that actually.
No idea why.
Yeah,
No idea why.
what's that about? I don't know the reference there.
Oh right, okay. So if you look up Vladislav Sarvelli on Wikipedia, I'm actually gonna do it now.
Yeah, do it.
When you look up his name, his nickname for some reason is El Chapo, and I don't really get it.
I'm
But, like, I love
100%
him.
sure he did that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. There was someone who said yesterday, like, oh, a foreigner's after scoring for Krylia Sovetov. And I actually thought he was foreign with a name like Cervelli. It sounds Italian or something, but
Yeah.
he seems true and true Russian, which is crazy. But, yeah, El Chapo scored a goal. It was a great goal, by the way. It was, some people compared it to Arsenal's goal, Wilshire's goal, a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Against, I think it was Norwich. That one was just pass.
Yeah.
And pass into the net. But the second half, once that got around, that first mistake 3 minutes in, giving away the penalty, and then the second mistake from Mario's goal, just really killed it off. I don't think Krylia ever had a chance in the second half.
Yeah.
Just they weren't playing very well. Like, it was unfortunate that the first half had to end because they did look like the team who were going to come out on top. But
Yeah.
you got to respect Lokomotiv. They came out and they finished the job despite not playing that well.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see them in the Europa League. To be fair, I think that they, like, of course, they would have done better than Krylia in the Europa League. But it'll be good to see what Nikolic can do for them and for the coefficient points as well. Of course, that's one of the most important things.
I think they'll do well, man. I'm excited for Russian football next season. Sochi are almost through. Rubin are through.
That's
Lokomotiv-
exciting as well. Just
Yeah.
knowing that, okay, Krylia missed out, but it just means that Rubin are like 99% there now.
Yeah.
And Sochi are probably like 90% there now. So, like, it's going to be interesting to see Rubin back after so long. Like, they've given us so many amazing nights in Europe before.
Yeah.
Playing against Barcelona and the likes. And, Sochi, this is going to be their first campaign. Even though they are a franchise team and whatever, like, I think we've kind of gotten over that a little bit.
Yeah.
As weird as it is to say, it's going to be interesting to see how, like, if they can keep their squad together. Will they look for new players, or what's the story? You're obviously a big fan of Fedotov, their
I
manager,
am.
as well. So
Yeah. And I'm very excited to see how he's going to deal with that rebuild that he's going to have to do. Very excited. So excited for this transfer window. Sounds weird.
man, I'm excited for next season. To
Really,
be honest,
yeah.
just in
Yeah.
general. And I forgot to answer the question about where I think Krylia is going to finish next year.
Yeah.
I think they're going to stay up. Probably not very comfortably, but comfortably enough. I think that could probably come 10th or 11th. and
Yeah.
that's kind of assuming that some of their players, probably the better ones, will leave at least halfway through the season, but they'll be able to kind of stick together enough to not go down. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. But yeah, go on. What
Yeah.
what are you most excited for in the next season?
I'm most excited for the transfers and the European stuff. I'm really happy Krasnodar are not in it. I'm really happy CSK are not going to be in it. I'm happy Rostov are not going to be in it. Um, because it's just different, right? It's just different. You have Sochi, Rubin, um, new look Lokomotiv, Spartak, which we'll get to in the RPL. It's just there's like a breath of fresh air with the teams we have, and the managers are all good, which is very important. Um, Whoever Spartak are going to sign, it's going to be an experienced foreign manager, so it's not going to be like Valeri Karpin, which is good. And then Leonid Slutsky, great manager, Fedotov, great manager, Nikolic, great manager. And my like I thought about this for hours last time when Russia was awful in Europe, and I think the thing
Yeah.
I came to was that the managers were just bad. They didn't know how to play in Europe, and I feel like these guys are going to be better. Plus, I think the qualification campaigns are going to be a bit better because it's going to be two legs this time, and it's the Conference League. Um, Whereas last season, Dinamo and Rostov both lost out on a single leg tie. So I'm excited for that. And I'm really excited for the transfers because I think almost every club apart from maybe, um, I don't know, Dinamo, Rubin, Spartak maybe, is going to have a big window. So I'm pretty excited for that. Um, but yeah, do you want to talk about the other clubs being refused licenses? Do you want to talk about the RPL? Do you want to talk about what you're excited for the next season?
Yeah, we might as well. I guess the first thing we'll mention is the table, right? So we've got one game left. It's this Sunday. This Sunday, isn't it? Not. Yeah,
Yeah,
it is
this
Sunday.
Sunday,
Actually,
all
for some
games at
reason
the
I thought it
same
was
time.
Saturday.
That's going to be limbs.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be really interesting. Like it pretty much is set in stone at this point who's coming where in the important spots. There are some changes that could still happen. Like for example, we know Zenit are first, right? Spartak are they Champions League?
No, they need a point. They're top three,
They
but
need
they
a
need a point to win to get Champions League. Yeah,
okay. So they need a point against
Akmep.
who? Okay, so they're almost guaranteed, 99% there.
Yeah,
Lokomotiv then are pretty much also there as long as they get a win against who are they playing? Ural. So like those three spaces are okay. Zenit obviously is guaranteed. Spartak and Lokomotiv are like 99% there, and
Lokomotiv
that
is
leaves.
is guaranteed, right? They'll get Europa League regardless because they won the cup.
Oh yeah, what am I talking about? Yeah, okay, perfect. So they're guaranteed. So they're already in the Europa League, so it doesn't matter. The only thing that could change is that they could go to
Yeah, exactly.
the Champions League if they win and Spartak lose. Probably won't happen. Then Rubin and Sochi look very likely.
Yeah, they
As
also
far
need
as I
just a
know,
point each.
exactly, they need just a point each, and like Rubin are playing against Rother, who will not be pushovers to be fair because they still have a chance to stay up, but it's not going to be it's not going to be the hardest game that Rubin could be playing.
Yeah,
And Sochi are playing against Himki
right.
away, and Himki don't have anything to play for, so pretty likely, right? CSK are the only ones who could really leapfrog any of them, but they're playing against Dinamo, which is
Exactly. So
a hard enough
they need
game
a
as well.
win in that. So I think the top five is set, and I'm very happy about that. Um,
Yeah, I'm happy about it as well. And then it's the relegation really. Like the only thing really that should or is likely to change is these two might swap Ufa and Rother. But I don't know about you. I think you hope Rother stay up. I want Ufa to stay up. That's right, isn't it?
yeah, I think so. Yeah, I want Rotor to
Well,
stay
like,
up.
who do
Yeah,
you want Rother to stay up? I do want
yeah,
Ufa to stay
but
up.
I think
So
that's a
one of
good.
us will be happy.
Yeah, that's a good segue because the licenses are nonsense. So what's
They are.
happened? Yeah, so what's happened is Krylia got a license. So Krylia are going up and Tambov are going down. We know that for sure. But apart from that, we don't know anything. Alania were not given the license. Orenburg were not given a license, which is criminal. And their director keeps giving very fiery interviews, and I stan him. He's spot on every time he speaks. Um, but so we don't really know what's going to happen. So Nizhny were given a license, but we don't know if they're going to play a playoff. We don't know if because Alania are fourth, so we don't know if the fifth place team is going to come up. But I think what's likely to happen is that um, we're going to have one team go up. We're only going to have, I think, we're going to have one team go up, and then we're going to have one playoff. Or it's going to be something. I don't know what's going to be. I don't. Nobody knows what's going to happen, right? Um, But yeah, I mean, Alexei Spector in the RFN chat, he sent this this regulation document, which is talking about all the things that happen in such circumstances, and I don't think anybody knows what's happening. Um, but yeah, Adam, what
Not
do you
unusual
think?
to Russian football, to be fair.
Yeah, not unusual, and it's pretty it's pretty heartbreaking. Orenburg deserved to go up. They're such a good story. They have a Scottish assistant manager and a Czech manager. Very nice team, great stadium, great club. On there, like they're in there based on merit, but like that,
Yeah.
yeah, which is a shame. Even Alania, they should be allowed to play a playoff, man. Even
I completely agree with you. Sorry to cut you off.
no, it's
Um,
fine, but it's a
but it,
nightmare.
it is ridiculous. Like, I have said it so many times over the last few days, but would you not rather have a team with a small stadium that's almost packing it out every time they're playing? Or would you rather a team that has a massive stadium and, are getting a quarter or less full every time? Like, one of the most annoying things in the RPL, and actually this affected the club massively and the team massively about 2, 3 years ago. Hanu, do you remember when Rubin were playing in the Kazan Arena and they were getting like 3 or 4 thousand fans
Yeah, of
to
course.
play in? Like, it was like a tenth of the stadium capacity. It was ridiculous.
Yeah,
And like, it looked terrible on TV. There was absolutely no atmosphere.
and the team was trash at that time. You remember,
And the team was trash. It was the team was trash, which made the fans not want to come,
exactly.
which made the team more trash because they had nothing to play for. it was it was just an awful time round, like for Ruben altogether, and that's what I just don't understand. I don't understand why the RPL are pushing this. I feel like, Orenburg are financially stable. They're backed by Gazprom. They have clearly come up on merit.
Yeah.
And the only thing that they're backing down to do is build a stadium. But now, their owners come out and said, okay, we'll do it. Just give us the license. But it seems like it's too late, which is just stupid. It's really really stupid.
Exactly, and the thing I don't get, by the way, Ruben, right? Ruben will get to Orenburg in a second, but I think we have to we'll do a end of season WTI awards probably next week. Come up with a few categories, but I feel like Ruben have had one of the best glow ups in history. Because if you remember, right, 1920, first half of the season, I think they had scored like 16 goals in 20 games or something. They were horrible. They couldn't
Yeah.
score, and they had that weird ass manager who looks like he's from a horror movie. Just the most
Who?
nondescript manager ever. I don't know his name. I don't remember. Before Leonid Slutsky came in, right? And they,
Sharonov.
yeah, him.
Man, he was good, I thought.
He did nothing. He was
No, he was really passionate though. I remember there was videos of him in the dressing room and stuff like that, just like going mental, and people were like, "Oh, this guy's huge. This guy's the next big thing." And
I really
well,
don't.
where is he now?
He's nowhere. He's probably at home. But then in the winter, right, they signed Leonid Slutsky. They updated their logo, and a year later, look at how sick they are. Like
Yeah.
in a single season, they've managed to go from being the most boring team in the league to probably the most exciting team in the league, which is, I mean, fair play. But yeah, going back to Orenburg, right? What I also don't like is that they got denied a license the first time. Then they appealed
Yeah.
to the RFU. And now there's apparently the RFU executive committee, which they can also appeal to. And then if that fails, then they can go to the Court of Arbitration for Sport, which is like a worldwide body. Everyone knows what it is. So, and a likely scenario is that they'll be given a license anyway. So what I don't understand is, why do I have to go through 4 levels of bureaucracy just to be given a license in the end? It really does not make much sense to me. Because one guy said, I think, that it's fine, they'll get a license because the RFU committee will make an exception anyway. Why have they not done it already then? Like, what's the point? It honestly makes no sense.
They just drag everything out so much. That's one thing I really like don't understand about Russia. It's just like it seems like there's some systems in Russia that are like the least efficient things ever.
Yeah,
It's like they're just trying to get as many like processes going just to keep people in jobs or something. It's like, man, like we already know how this is gonna end. Just give the end result. Like,
exactly. I mean, it's a mare. Have you seen the movie Office Space?
no,
What a film! You gotta watch that.
what's it
Um,
about?
it's basically about office. Like it's three guys and they work in some like tech company, and it's like if The Office was a movie, but
Okay,
it's older. Like the story is different, but the concept is pretty similar. Great film, great film, and it has like a fair few dialogues about just how many needless change there are in a corporate environment, and
yeah,
it's slightly similar to Russia. But the other thing I want to talk about is
I'll
right,
check it out.
yeah, is if I have to just get my stadium to 10,000, right?
Yeah,
Can I just put 2,500 plastic seats anywhere and call it 10,000?
yeah. I don't know. I feel like there's definitely like this is another thing. There's probably these crazy like regulations in place for stadiums, and like because this is part of the Orenburg process because it's quite a high profile thing, they probably won't be able to do it. Whereas like if it was just a regular thing, if it was like if they had done it previously before they had been denied, they probably would have got away with doing something stupid like that.
Yeah,
Like they probably would have gotten away with putting in like 2,500 seats France or something like.
exactly. You know those like function seats, like just like plastic chairs that you see at any
Yeah.
function or birthday party. Just put 2,500 of them around the stadium. 10,000
Just
bang.
put like just put like benches.
Exactly.
Just like
Yeah.
picnic benches.
Just put anything. Put cushions on the ground. That's 25. That's 10,000. But I want to see what loopholes can be used, or if saw each seat in half, and then you're 15,000. There you go. Um, but yeah, I hope they get a license. I hope they do get a license.
Me
Um,
too. I did like I originally I didn't really want them to go up, but this has kind of made me want them to go up.
yeah,
It's more like a it's more so just like they deserve justice.
yeah, it is. They really do. I'm also on Meta Ratings right now, and Meta Ratings, great news outlet. Use it a lot. This is not sponsored. They did try to do a deal with RFN one time. This didn't work out, but they're still great people.
Well,
Um,
it's just we all know why it didn't work out. It's just
exactly. It wasn't worth it for it was.
it
I get what they're saying, but it wasn't worth it for us. They're still good guys.
it's worth it if you're living in like I don't know, name me like if you're
Omsk.
living maybe in North Korea or something, you might get by on it.
Yeah, I mean something like that. Something like that. Um, but yeah, so the one article has come out and it says that the RFU may consider Smolov's statement on Instagram after the Russian Cup final. So the ethics committee are looking into that. Now, Artem, you're Russian. Can you give us a background into what Smolov posted and why it's caused so much controversy?
I didn't even see it, to be honest.
It's on his Instagram. I
So
think you liked the
that's
post.
oh maybe I don't know. Let me have a look on Instagram. To be honest, I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
look it
have
up
a
on my
look.
phone because you know how bad Instagram is
Instagram is awful, awful. But
on
yeah,
PC especially.
exactly. But yeah, in the meantime, while Artem looks that up, Domenico Tedesco had his farewell at Spartak, and I was sad. I was solemn because I covered the entire thing. Man, I was emotional at that point. Even the game was phenomenal. Like I've not celebrated that Larson winner, not celebrated goal like that in a while. Like it had to have been some El Clasico, or maybe a Champions League final. It was that emotional. Um, but yeah, man, Spartak, very likable team, very likable manager. Internally, I still hope he stays, and even if he doesn't, I hope he has a great career. But yeah, did you find it, Artem?
Yeah, I don't really get who it's aimed towards. Do you know who it's aimed towards?
Cherchesov,
Has
I
it been...
believe.
Oh, that okay. That absolutely makes sense then.
What's he said though? He says I know what like translation is. They don't bet on me, but and then every like it's censored. The word is censored.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not the worst. I'm not the best when Russian words are censored because I don't read enough like Russian curse words to be able to tell what that word is actually meant to be. But I can only imagine that just fucking them up or something. I don't know. Something along those lines. Like, I feel
Yeah,
like Smolov definitely should have been in that national team selection, which is actually what we'll get to now. We
exactly.
might
That's
as
a
well.
great. We're just flowing with the transitions today. Never seen anything like
Yeah,
it.
it's beautiful. But yeah, like, I guess that's what that has to be aimed towards. Then it's just him giving out about Cherchesov not giving him a chance. And fuck me, man. Like, Smolov should have had a chance at the Euros. Like, I get
Yeah,
it. The World Cup, he didn't have the best time. The Euros before that, he didn't have the best time. But man, like, he's having a great second half to the season, and it gives you a little bit of like depth in the forwards compared to what we have now, which is three of the same player.
exactly.
For
So if
anybody who
we,
doesn't read Russian, we had the three strikers at Zuba, Zabolotny, and Sobolev, right?
yeah,
How honestly, how different are their styles of play? They're the exact same. Zuba's got a bit better feet, right? Zabolotny's a bit more of like just a brick shithouse,
yeah,
and Sobolev is like in between the two of them.
yeah,
I don't understand what is the point, right? Sobolev should be there. Dzuba should be there. Like, Dzuba should be there without a doubt. But Smolov should have been the third one. I get it, Zabolotny is playing well. I get it. But when
that's
are you going to need to play two of these types of players? When?
exactly. And he's gonna play a stupid 4-3-3 anyway. So third striker's not gonna play regardless. Regardless, he's not gonna play. So Smolov, first of all, looks like he's having fun playing football for the first time since his Krasnodar days. Like he looks happy, and it's great seeing him happy because he's a great footballer, extremely talented. Right? He's not looked this happy since I think he scored against Real Madrid. Not looked this happy. So he deserves to be in there, man, honestly. And the thing with Zabolotny, right, is that he's a system player. Apparently, by the way, CSK are going to sign him. Apparently, the deal is done,
Oh,
which I think is idiotic business from CSK.
he's
Um,
back at his home club, though.
I don't care. He's not going to do well. Going to be worse than Gaich. Um,
Okay.
yeah, but I don't understand why they need so many strikers. First of all, they've been linked to every striker under the sun. But the thing with Zabalotny, right? He plays in a system which is completely built around him. You have Zaika, Terekhov, Margasov, Nabiulin, whoever's playing as a wing back for Sochi, spamming crosses into him. And that's their style. Their main attacking outlet is the wings, is the wing backs, right? Apart from that, there's Noboa and Yusupov who take shots from range, who do set piece stuff. But the main goal is to spam cross to Zabalotny. And fair enough to Zabalotny, he scores a lot of headers. He's a good finisher, very good finisher, but you have to get the ball to him, right? And I don't think that Russia is desperate enough to play a system which revolves around Anton Zabalotny. They're not Sochi, right? They don't have to do that. Whereas Fedor Smolov is the type of player who can like change the game on his own. He can change the game on his own. He can play different styles. He can play as a second striker. He can do a lot of stuff, and he's extremely technically gifted. He's in the reserves, and we'll get to the whole squad in a second. But I really don't understand why he's been picked over why Zabalotny's been picked over Smolov. But yeah, getting to the entire squad, Artem, there's going to be
The only good thing about Zabalotny being in the squad is that if he scores, he's gonna do a backflip or something, which is pretty cool.
exactly,
But
yeah,
like, that's really where it ends.
and he's not going to score. Let's be honest, he's
Eh,
not.
I kind of hope he does, but yeah, probably not. 99% chance he's not.
Yeah,
But yeah, the rest of the squad, right? This is like the long squad, the long list as
yeah.
they call it.
Four people will be cut from this.
Yeah, so realistically, one keeper, one defender, and two midfielders, or something along those lines.
Yeah.
So, I guess, who do you think is going to be cut from the keepers? We'll go through each position, right?
Yeah.
So, the keepers are Dupin, Lunyov, Safonov, and Shunya. Who's going to get cut?
I like the keeper list, by the way. First of all, let me say that. And Maximenko is a reserve player if anyone gets injured. Just for the listeners. I think Safonov
Which
is going
sounds
to.
ridiculous to me because we already have four goalkeepers, and the chance of two of them getting injured Like this
Yeah,
is the long list, so like it has to be
exactly.
shortened down before the tournament anyway.
Yeah, I'd pick Maximenko over Lunev, and I think Safonov is going to get cut, and he deserves to get cut. He's been trash.
I think Lunyov actually needs to be taken out. I don't think he's deserved his spot in the national team. I think
Yeah.
Safonov, at least you're kind of looking forward to, okay, this is one of the young guys, one of the best keepers in the league, even though he hasn't been doing very well recently. You know, bring him up, give him some more experience. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Lunyov, on the other hand, is just like, he hasn't really been playing that much, and when he has been playing, it's not like it's been overwhelmingly good.
Yeah, and you know what? This is interesting because it actually opens up the possibility of Dupin starting, and that is a good possibility. I like that.
That would be cool, actually, yeah. I wouldn't
Yeah,
mind
I
that. I
think.
think Shunyan is going to be number one anyway, but
Yeah, but I don't know if he. I prefer Dupin to Shunan, but like it's still better than Guilherme. Let's be honest.
yeah, anything is better than him.
Exactly.
The whole game yesterday, like for the listeners, I was screaming at the crib. I was
Yeah,
just like, shoot from 40 yards out, like make it bounce before Guilherme. You have like a 50% chance it's gonna go in the goal,
exactly.
even if it's not on target.
Honestly, Guilherme is so strange because it's like he gets like two shocks of lightning every season, and he turns into just God. And one
Yeah,
of one of that was against one of those times was against Spartak, and then he has one other blinder, and then apart from that, he's just awful. Like he's
do
very
you know?
average.
I genuinely think that with Guilherme, it's when he has more time to think about what's happening with the ball, he overthinks it, and it just
Yeah,
doesn't end up well. Whereas, like, if it's a reflex thing, his reflexes are just fantastic.
they
So,
are. Yeah,
like, if someone's shooting from like the 6 yard box, he'll somehow just save it. But if someone's shooting from like 40 yards out, man, like
yeah,
he's just all over the place. He has no idea what's going on.
yeah. He did get chipped by Malcolm pretty badly in that game last week. Y-
Okay,
yeah,
move on to the defenders. Right,
yeah.
so we've got Jikia, Diveev, Fernandez, Yevgeniev, Shirkov, Karavayev, Kudrashov, Samoshnikov, and Smyanov. I don't know why Shirkov's still there, but
Yeah, and he's gonna play. You know he's gonna be picked for the final
oh,
squad,
I know. That's who I'd cut straight away,
of
to
course.
be honest.
Yeah,
But whether that's gonna happen or not, I don't know.
yeah. I think it's a good list. I don't know why Semyonov is still there. Chistiakov is a reserve player. I think he should be in the main team. Because he's been good for Zenit. Zherkov has absolutely no right to be there. And apparently, I read something which says that he could extend his contract again after saying that he's going to retire. If he does that, he needs to be kicked out. Go back to Tambov, start a new club or something. Your time is up. This is Euros. Cherchesov is taking you to the Euros because he wants to give you your farewell, right? You're going to come on for 10 minutes when Russia are losing to Finland. That's it. Bye. Good night, okay? But, like, I don't think Kudryashov maybe should be. I don't know if he should be in it. I don't know how he's been in Turkey. But, like, it's a very uninspiring pick, I feel like. Um, Actually, Artem, what would be your starting defense?
Oof, are we playing three or four? Like four at the
We'll,
back?
we'll,
What's the story?
we'll play 4-3-3.
4-3-3. Okay, for Fernandez then.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's gotta be Jikia and either Diveev or Yevgeniev, one of those two. But definitely one of those two.
Yes.
And Karavayev at left back.
Yeah. And if that's the four, it's a very good four. But you just
Is that who you'd pick as well, or would you
exactly, yeah. Same,
would you
same.
have? Hang on? Do you have any preference of Yevgeniev against Diveev?
Excuse me. No, I feel like they're. My bad. I feel like they're.
It sounded like you sneezed specifically into the microphone.
No, I didn't. I tried to sneeze off from it, like away from it. I don't know.
Everyone caught COVID right there.
Jesus, that's funny. No, I don't care who gets picked between Deviev and Evgeniev, but it has to be one of those two. It cannot be Kudryashov. It should not be Kudryashov. It should not be Semyonov. But you just know he's going to start Zherkov and Kudryashov in the Euros. Like,
Yeah,
he's going to...
pretty
Romelu
much.
Lukaku, Eden Hazard, these guys are going to face off against Zherkov when we play Belgium. It's just going to happen. It's just going to happen. Um, Moving on to the midfielders, though, there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
You have, but
Baranov, Zhemaletnov, Mukhin, Golovin, Zakharyan, which was a really surprising call up.
yeah,
Fomin, Sobnin, Ionov, Kuzayev, Mostovoy, Ozdoyev, Makarov, Miranchuk, and Cheryshev.
yeah, and then in the reserves you have just Gazinski, Lisovor, and Mirzov actually.
Yeah,
Um, I'm taking Ionov out of that, but Zakharyan's probably going to be
but you're
taken
gonna be
out.
realistic, Hanu.
Yeah, exactly. I have to be realistic. I don't know who. I think he'll cut Makarov and Zakharyan just because he's an old fraud. When in reality, both of those players should be playing. At least Makarov should be. Um,
Okay, and who would you play out of those in a three-man midfield?
I would play a three-man midfield of Golovin, Zobnin, and ooh, this is interesting. I would play Golovin, Zobnin, and Fomin probably. That's a
I actually fully agree with
that's
you.
a
I think
spicy
that's
midfield. That's a great midfield.
yeah. I think that's a really smart one as well because you've got Golovin who's better at moving forward.
Yeah,
You've got Zobnin who's like box to box but probably a little bit better at defensive play,
yeah,
and then you've got Foreman who's just the machine in both.
yeah,
So I think that's a really good mix. And like depending if they do play 4-3-3, obviously like if they may play Miranchuk ahead of Golovin or something like that, but I think that those three are probably the best option.
yeah. And
And
exactly.
we've
Like,
already sorry.
no, no. What I'm saying is that we're going through this, and we can see a very good team building. So
Yeah.
all Stanley has to do is pick the right players and play a decent formation, and we're winning the Euros. If he just
Yeah,
does that,
absolutely.
it's a great team. But he's not. He's going to play 5-1-3-1 with like Zabalotny being the lone man up front, Ionov on the right wing, Zhirkov on the left. That's what's going to happen, which is sad.
Yeah, that's really just annoying. Who are you choosing for the three up front, right? So obviously it's not going to be the three target men. You're gonna have to
Imagine if
take
it
two
is.
people. Oh my god! Do you know what? That could be terrifying for defenders, but it also would be just like we'd have to play for set pieces and only set
Yeah,
pieces.
that would be fun.
Who do you think?
I feel like he's going to start Kozyaev in the midfield. I don't want that to happen though. But my three would be Miranchuk, Makarov, and Zuba, Sobolev. I don't care. Both of them are great. It's going to be Zuba though. Zuba, why not? And should Denis Cheryshev be in this team?
Yeah, he should. I think that regardless of how he's been like doing domestically or whatever, he's still one of Russia's best players.
Yeah,
Like
fair.
coming up to the World Cup, he wasn't exactly doing fantastic either, but he always shows up for the national team, and I actually would have him starting. I'd have him on the left wing. I'd have the main man, Miranchuk on the right, and
Yeah.
Zub up front. But I also would be for, and I really hope that Stani like gives this man a chance. Zakharyan playing somewhere, because he's proven to be just so talented, and he's one of these players that there's no one at the Euros who would have scouted him enough to like be able to really defend against him. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think he could be the kind of secret weapon.
I think he'd be good as a sub, yeah, you're right. Um, but that's the thing, there's a very good team in here, man. There's a very good team in here, a team that can go far. Um, I don't Denmark, Finland, or Belgium, none of them have released their squads yet. But how are you feeling ahead of the Euros, Artem? Do you think we'll get top two and go ahead? I'm not that confident, honestly. I feel like the team is good, but I don't like Cherchasov. I mean, internally, I'm not that confident. I hope I'm wrong, but that's how I feel.
I'm not super confident, but it's three teams that goes through from most groups, right?
Yeah.
Still, so like I feel like Russia are definitely going to be at least top three, but I think that there is a chance to come top two. I actually think that we'll shithouse Belgium. I
No.
think that we'll shithouse Belgium somehow because we owe them one for what they did to us at the World Cup in 2014. Um, so I think that we'll be able to get a point against them, and then it's just making sure that we don't fuck up against the other two. Really, um, I'm quite positive, I'm quite confident. I wouldn't have been before for Russian teams, but Cherchesov in the big matches does tend to kind of step up. Like even regardless of if they're friendlies against big teams or whatever. Like remember that Spain game when we
Yeah, that was mad.
drew all. Like I feel like almost the bigger the occasion, the more chance of us like losing, the better we're gonna do. So I'm more than happy to play better teams all the time.
Yeah, to be fair, Russia were decent in the international break, weren't they? I don't know who they played, I can't remember. But they lost to Slovakia because Robert Mack scored a brace or something like that. Something like
Yeah,
that. And then, but they won the other two games, I think. One was against
they did. Yeah,
Slovenia and someone else, which is fair enough. I hope they, and there's going to be friendlies before the Euros. I hope they're good. I hope Russia show up in that. Um, do you want to have a quick look at the U21 squad as well?
yeah, sure.
Let's see if we can pull that up.
If I remember correctly, this squad is super impressive as well.
It's not bad.
Um,
It's not bad. It's of course not as good as the other one. I mean, the one we had just before this. But that's
yeah,
because a lot of these players are unproven, and by the time the Euros come about, they're probably going to be established. Um,
yeah.
yeah, so the goalkeepers are Botnar from Torpedo Moscow, Borisko from Baltica, Agatsev from Krasnodar, and Budachev from Dynamo. We only have seen Agatsev, I feel like, but I mean, it's okay, right? We don't know. Russia usually has very good goalkeepers. Russia usually does have very good goalkeepers.
That's the
Um,
truth. We're never gonna run out of like. I don't think
exactly.
Russia is ever gonna have a shortage of goalkeepers.
Yeah, there's always at least 10 that are like proper that can play at for a national team. The defenders, I feel like this is pretty good. Maslov, Krusevich, Bozanov, Silyanov, Karpov, Prokhin, Litvinov, Khotulev, Agapov, and Stepanov. There's a good back four there.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's pretty nice. Midfielders, Maradishvili, Umyarov, Prutsev, Chernikov, Ignatov, Krivtsov, Sadulayev, Karapuzov, Oganessian, and Savikian. This is also pretty nice, I feel like.
it
Um,
is. I like that.
yeah,
I think it's a good one.
it is. Yeah, and then the forwards, I feel like are a bit dodgy. You've got Tukavin, who's good, but Kosarev and Klimov have like both done nothing this season or ever. Um, hopefully they show up, but I feel like this is a bit worrying. Um, it's not a bad squad though. What do you think?
I think it's a good one. Like, what? Sorry, this is me being ignorant. What are they actually playing for? Is this gonna be some tournament or what?
I don't know. I think it's just friendlies. I'm not sure.
Okay, well in that case, then it doesn't need to be the best squad ever. Like it's about getting some experience for some of these players who haven't played for the team before, and obviously it's a big difference from what we saw before. But it's great to see like, Tukavin is going to lead the line for that team.
Yeah,
He's going to get a chance to be the main man, unlike what he hasn't had a chance to do that yet.
yeah,
Players like Maradishvili are still great. Umarov's great. Like whoever they're playing should be scared. Let's say that.
yeah. There's potential there for sure. Um, there is a lot of potential. Before we get to the degrees, right? I want to talk about how bad Zenit are at developing the youth. Like
Okay.
not creating players and just like academy prospects. They're good at that, right? But Zenit are truly shocking at promoting players, and then like they just fade into obscurity, right? So Leon Musayev broke into the first team in 2019 in Qatar.
Yeah.
Did nothing for an entire year, got shipped off to Ruben. Danila Prokhin came in at like about the same time, went off to Sochi, did nothing. Ilyas Krobotov, I don't know if he's still alive. I
Oh
really
my
don't.
god.
I really
Remember he
don't.
scored that one
Exactly.
goal that everyone thought this is the guy who's gonna play for Barcelona one day.
Exactly. Everyone thought he was the next Ramos. I really do not know if he still plays football. Then Daniil Shamkin made his debut, did nothing. Still sticking around, I don't know, he's Zenit 2 or whatever.
Can I be honest though? I never really saw the hype for Musayev, and I never really saw it for Shamov, to be honest.
I
Or sorry,
never
Shamkin.
I never watched them, so I have no idea. But they were really highly rated, right?
They were
Um,
highly rated, but I feel like when you watched Leon Musayev when he came on, it was like, oh, he's given a 6 yard pass or something like that. It was never like he never actually did something that was so worthwhile to people. Like it was just because he was a Zenit youth. That was the only hype,
he was the
and
only
I
Zenit
guess
youth, yeah.
that I think that's probably why you're making this conversation because Zenit have so little to like brag about that these are the players that they have to.
Yeah, I think that is it actually. And Arshavin said in a recent interview. By the way, Arshavin gives way too many interviews. I know he's on Match, but there is an Arshavin quote every single day. Every single day. And the worst part
Well,
about all of
uh,
them, go on.
Hanu, like we all have full time jobs, yeah. Our Shavan's full time job is literally just going from studio to studio,
It honestly
showing
is
up.
like he
He's
does.
like, all right, let me just what like, he'd ask me about something. They ask him a question or two. He says something. They're like, all right, that's gonna be sick, and they just hand him like €100 or something.
On that's exact because he's supposed to have a real job working at the Zenit Academy, right? But clearly, it doesn't take that much of his time. Because you don't see like Spartak's academy director or Samedov, who's Loko's director or something. You don't see them give so many interviews. This man is on TV, on some website every single day. And the worst part is, he always gives out like suggestions that, Zenit should be like RB Leipzig. Zenit should
Yeah,
be like Zenit should develop youth. Zenit should sign this player. Fam, you're the one that works at Zenit. Why are you giving us suggestions? Go do it then. Like just go do it. And he said that, oh, you know what? I feel like Zenit should like develop the youth, become like Red Bull. Do it. What's stopping you? And that's why I think Zenit really underused the amount of money they have. Like with the money they have, they could become a proper powerhouse. But
yeah,
all
that's for
they
sure.
do is they just buy Malcolm and Wendell, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is a shame. Um, but yeah, you want to get out of the degrees now?
Yeah, so me and Hanu have been obviously everybody knows that me and Hanu are really against like just regular education systems and stuff like that. When we go to like talk about primary and secondary schools and stuff like that. But for some reason we were talking about college earlier today, and I was like, I swear there's like a lot of Russian players who have degrees. Oh, you know what it was? It's you mentioned Kuzayev has a degree in economics.
Yeah.
So I said, oh, that's actually not uncommon in Russia. I'm pretty sure a lot of players have degrees. So I started looking it up, and we found a few articles about all the players who have degrees. Right? It's not all the players who have degrees, but it's the main ones. Right?
Yeah.
So I have not translated these into English. So I'm just gonna show Hanu the players, and he can guess what the players have gotten their bachelor's or master's or doctor or whatever. He can guess what level of education they have and what they've got in. Right? That's gonna be the game.
Yeah.
So I feel like this article I think is the probably the better one. So we'll start with that one.
All right. Yeah.
So I can fade, right? What do you think he's what his level of education and what do you think he studied?
That bold thing is the thing, right?
Which bold thing?
The bold paragraph tells us what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So he's got like I think a master's in management of like some random thing like sports, leisure, tourism. It looks something like that. One of those degrees.
Man, your Russian is getting really good.
Yeah.
That's not actually what it's like. It's a master's. You're right, absolutely there, and it's management as well, right? It's just like general management, but
Okay.
I guess you read from this the sport,
Yeah.
youth, and tourism thing. By the way, every Russian person who's listening to this, what is up with all of these fucking abbreviations?
Yeah.
They're not even like abbreviations are meant to be short.
Small. Yeah.
What is this?
That's hilarious.
Like
How do you even say that?
commit.
Yeah, no, that's disgraceful. But no,
It's
actually,
ridiculous. It's
where
just
this conversation started when Jikia got his degree today for being a master of physical education, which means that he is
okay.
officially more qualified than Ivica Olic. um, so, and then someone quoted it by saying that Smolov has a sociology degree and that Kuziaev apparently has an economics doctorate, which is a bit mad. And then I came to Artem and now he's pulled up these articles.
But I think this is a fun game regardless.
Yes,
Right?
it
Do you
is.
want to just do the Russian ones, or do you want to go through like obviously there's a few players here that have.
Now let's do the Russian ones.
Okay, let's do the Russian ones. All right, you'll never guess this one.
He has a fashion design thing, doesn't it? Arshavin, yeah.
Oh my god, how'd you guess that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
see.
probably
I still
the
don't. I want to see what clothes Arshavin has produced. I'm not gonna believe it till I see them.
he
I
produced women's clothes. I'll send you some pictures later on.
Yeah,
I think
alright.
there's
I need
pictures of him
pictures.
with the ones. Okay, Hanu, guess what Roman Shirokov did in college.
What do we?
And this is to say also, this is the same. He like he got his degree at the same time that Zenit won the UEFA Cup. It was the same year,
Yeah, I was gonna say. I
or
thought
he
he,
started maybe at that time.
I thought you were gonna mention him beating people up, and I thought you were like trained to be a police officer or something. Um,
No, no.
but I don't know, man. Did some finance thing? I don't know. No, he doesn't look like he'd do
Okay,
finance.
do you want to know?
I think he did some
This is the
very
most ironic one ever. He studied law.
fuck's sake. Clearly
He
didn't.
studied law.
Cle-
This man studied law.
Clearly didn't work.
Yeah, clearly he just. Oh man, he's such an idiot. But the funniest thing is like they'd asked him. They were like, "Oh yeah, what like why do you need this? You're already a footballer. You're already making more money than everyone. Why do you need to study?" And just, well, everyone else is doing, it, and I want to as well. I mean, fair enough, respect, but what the fuck, genuinely
Yeah,
ridiculous.
honestly, fair enough.
Okay, Dmitry Bulikin.
I don't know who that is.
I didn't either until this.
He's got that same RFUFK, whatever the hell that is. So he did the same thing, I guess.
No, that's just the same college. But he went. He's actually a doctor. He's a doctor in.
Fair enough. I can
He's
respect
actually
that.
in science.
I can respect that.
So
That's better.
respect.
That's better than learning law and beating people up.
It
Yeah,
is.
fair
Okay,
enough.
so that's the end of this article. It's just Simon Mignolet.
What's Simon Mignolet done?
He studied politics, I think.
Oh.
I've obviously closed it. I'm not opening it back up. But
Yeah.
he studied politics. I'm 99% sure. Right. So Akinfeev, we already know. Cherchesov. What were we saying?
Hmm. I don't know. He feels like a very PE guy.
Oh.
I feel like he studied politics though.
No, he studied economics, but he also studied basically the course apparently is economics and physical education.
That's a wild course.
Yeah, I feel like in Russia there's a bigger mix of these like random things. Like
Yeah.
everyone I've been reading through all these, I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, that's a wild
Like
course.
how do you even mix those two things? But look, that's what he did. Right, Kaczynski.
I don't know. Kaczynski. I don't know, man. I think he's just one of those very basic sport management degrees.
Pretty much, yeah. He's just a master of sport. So he did his bachelor's in physical culture, and then he
What
did
does
his
that mean?
master's in. I don't know, man. Like the thing is, it probably makes sense if it's like a real course in English, but like I feel like the way the Russians describe it is just a bit wild sometimes.
Yeah.
But physical culture is the way that I'm translating it, so that's the way that you're gonna hear it. But yeah, he has his masters in sports. So Tsagoyev doesn't actually say what he finished, but he did some kind of sports thing as well.
Should have
It's
done
just
a
basic.
should have done should have become a doctor or a physiotherapist or something. 'Cause
Yeah,
that would have
he'd
helped
be
him
able
out.
to heal himself.
Exactly. Yeah, heal yourself.
Yeah, he did something about optimism. Like his dissertation essentially was about optimizing like. Jeez, I have no idea how to translate that into English, but optimizing something into
Optimizing.
in
Just
footballers,
optimizing things. That's it.
optimizing things in footballers of the highest leagues. So he actually like
He comes across as that guy that doesn't talk much, but if you have a conversation with him, you'll really enjoy it. Like he can talk about like some proper intellectual stuff, but he doesn't talk much. He seems like that kind of guy.
He does. He really does.
Yeah.
Pavlichenko, I think he just did a sports thing as well. I'm
Yeah.
trying to find if there's any. I think the rest of them are just sports. I think the ones that we actually went through.
Sergei Semak comes across as the guy who did some like real sick course, like business with fashion design or some stuff like that. He comes across like he knows his stuff.
No, I think that they're both. I think that they both, like, it seems from this article that they just both did sports ones.
Fair enough. That's disappointing. That is
Like, that's the
disappointing.
thing. It's actually this article is a little bit shitty because a lot of the ones they're just like, oh yeah, he got a diploma, but it doesn't say what. Like,
Yeah.
and then obviously we know that both Miranchuk twins also have a masters each
Yeah.
in football training or
Yeah.
football coaching. So they also are better
Then Ivy
qualified than
College.
college.
Yes, exactly. Ivy College is such a fraud, honestly, man. Like
It's the biggest fraud.
I just love laughing at him, honestly. But the thing is, right, Artem. David brought up that Timur Ayupov guy on one of our calls, and
Yeah.
talking about how he was like his dad played in the Netherlands and stuff. And I followed this guy on Instagram, and he's got a very nice Instagram. He keeps interacting with fans, keeps talking about business, about traveling, got some like proper sick photographs and stuff of like him taking pictures of stuff, and he seemed really nice Instagram. And I'm trying to think of other players that are like entrepreneurial and stuff. And Memphis Depay obviously comes to mind.
Yeah.
Uh,
Same as Quincy Promise.
Quincy
to be fair, he has
Promise,
not
yeah, Quincy Promise comes to mind, of course. Um, I'm trying to think if there's any Russian players actually. I'm trying to think if there are any Russian players. Um,
Well, if there are, people might let us know in the comments
yeah,
because I can't think of anything off the top of my head either.
exactly. So let us know in the comments if you do remember any players. It don't have to be Russian. Can just be any player that is into the business world or has their own brand or whatever. But yeah, we got anything else to discuss this week?
This is probably the end of our podcast anyway.
Yeah,
So if you listen through that little weird part,
yeah,
respect.
respect.
And guys, as always, well, actually, the first time ever, follow the podcast podcast WTI
Yes,
on Twitter. Leave us a gold medal on SportRex. Leave us a like on YouTube. Like, I don't know, what other pages can we make? We make an OnlyFans, and just like extra content on there.
okay.
We'll have you know, I'll post some suggestive photos of me in Russia jerseys or something.
You're
Anyways,
fair enough.
weird end to the podcast, but there you go.
Yes.
See you all next week.